Happy Sunday, November 22nd, 2020. So, those of you who don't know, Sacred, this relic from the golden age of PC gaming, it's one of the greatest RPGs of all time. And I thought I'd take a little stroll down memory lane here. And play it a bit. It says I have 60 hours in Steam, but honestly, I probably played about 300 hours of this back in the day, so I'm pretty well versed. I don't even know if it's gonna run on my newer system. It's pretty old, we'll see. I might have to like configure some legacy emulation here or something. I think I'm just gonna try restarting it. Ugh. Wow, like won't even close properly. That's interesting. Probably most of the playing, if I ever get it actually to work, will be commentary free, but I thought I'd at least give this introduction. Oh, I need to Control Delete here. Oh, that was pretty hardcore. Alright, let's try this one more time. Oh, it didn't even launch that time. Alright, let's find the exe file. Alright. God. Alright, config exe. Alright, I think that will do the trick. Let's give it a try now. Well, that was nice and fast. Sorry about that brief delay, but now you know how to get Sacred to run on Windows 10. Alright, let's see if I can Alt-Tab it, because I want to have my chat window open. Visible here. Alright, think. I've got so many windows open on my screen right now. Okay. Wow, it's just like a tiny little window. I wonder if I can do full size here. I might just have to play it in that little box in the corner. Alright, just bear with me while I mess around with the configurations here. Alright, time to probably turn the music off, because I don't know, I don't really like it that much. And the wind effects are nice. Alright, everything else I think is basically what I wanted it to be, although I don't really like the anti-aliasing. Turn that off. Autosave's good. Follow opponents, that's really useful. There's no resolution settings, so I really like the Underworld campaign personally, and lets you create the cool new characters. So the demon is absolutely hands down my favorite. Oh, that's cool, it imported my old characters. Oh no, they start out at level 29, sorry. I forgot about that. With the expansion, like, you have to be minimum level 29, so bronze, I think you have to start out on bronze difficulty. There's so many, like, esoteric aspects. I'm trying to remember if there's a way to... Haha. Alright,
I'd better be quiet around here if I want to keep my good looks.
I don't really like doing the quests, but I'm probably just gonna...
Shadar has been destroyed. The evil is banished. But at what price? Our beloved Valor. Dead. Even...
brutal. So I'm supposed to go through this portal.
Hurry. Save my beloved Vilya from the demon's clutches. Find the dimension gate. Don't be afraid. I might be dead, cold as the earth where my bones are resting, but I am still Valor of Ankaria. Even now, I watch over the kingdom that requires your help once again. More now than ever before.
It's been so long since I played, I don't remember anything. I think once you create a character, then you can actually create a dedicated server, and then you can go into the regular campaign from there. But I do kind of want to play the extended campaign. Just have to re-familiarize myself with the controls here. kind of weird that I started with this inventory. I'm not sure if these are just random items or if they were imported when I reinstalled the game. This is like the communal chest that exists throughout worlds, no matter where you go or what campaign you're in. Look at that, I'm just about to level up. That's what these little green dots are here. I think each one represents 10%. I can't remember, it's been a while. This character is majorly hacked in a way. They didn't, I don't think they did like proper beta testing when they released the expansion. They kind of rushed it out, and there's one particular combination of skills that you can use with this character that's pretty much unstoppable and lets you power level like at a ridiculously high speed, which is tentacles. Battle Demon's also pretty good too. Lets you fly. Or sorry, not Battle Demon, there's another skill. Let's see if I can remember how to even access the skills. Yeah, it's pretty easy. Combat arts, right? So, yeah, fairly intuitive interface. Okay, let's see. Tentacles, right? Basically what I want to be my number one attack. And I think it's passive. I'm not sure. Soaring Demon, that's the other good one. Because it lets you fly, which is really useful. But it only lasts for a short period of time. Pretty sure those are basically the only skills that are worth using for this particular character. I mean, obviously it's more fun to kind of like create a more diverse situation, but alright, let's see. Just cast the aura. Trying to remember how this works. You cast the aura, and it just continues to be active for a while. Let's see, how long does it last? 10 seconds, or 50 seconds, so it's really generous. It's like almost a minute. And this mainly works best when you're rounding up a large group of enemies. I forget what they call that in RPG parlance, but basically you kind of get them to trail behind you and lure them. Here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Get a big group of them, and then you just have to kill one, basically, once you get the skill sufficiently high. And then every new enemy that dies releases tentacles, and so it's just kind of like an exponential damage scenario. totally kicks ass. And of course, the faster you level, the higher you can make the skill. Which means it lasts longer, does more damage, etc. And then you can kind of loot over the tentacles. You can see all those 10s. Those are basically passive damage that's being done by the tentacles, so that's kind of how it works, basically. But this is a fun quest. I forgot about this. It's like the first.
Even though this sounds about as
side
exciting as watching paint dry, I am in.
Fine, I leveled up, so you got all these options here, and honestly, I feel like God, this is hard to remember. It's very unintuitive though, because there's like you click this bar up here, and it changes from skills to attributes. You have one attribute point, but you have like 4 skill points, and then a new skill. My favorite is disarming, but you don't get that until much later on in the game. Disarming is really cool because you basically are, when you're fighting with an enemy who has a weapon, you have a chance to knock the weapon out of their hand, which is really cool because way later on in the game, when you're really high level, you can take the weapons that you knock out of enemies' hands, sometimes really high level enemies, and use them yourself, which is really cool. Let's see up here. Dual welding. I'm trying to remember which of these are most useful. I think dual welding is actually really great for the game. Although it kind of looks like I might already have dual welding, so. I like parrying to help out on the shortens casting time. Help power is a pretty great skill. All the other ones are pretty mediocre. Long-handled weapons is nice. The tentacles is such a generous spell duration, you don't really need a lot of help power, so I'm just going to go with parrying. The problem with the new skill edition is that, like, every time you add a new skill, and this is actually one of the coolest things about Sacred skill tree, is that the more skills you add, the less useful your skill points are. Even though it's really generous, you get 4 every time. It doesn't necessarily serve you very well when you have like 20 skills, you know, because then your points are far more diluted. Let's see, sword. So like this is basically my new skill, and it's just at level 1, so it's pretty weak. So I'm gonna level that up with all 4 of my skill points. So that's a pretty good defense boost. And then when it comes to attributes, I usually just choose like 2 categories and kind of ignore the rest. And basically I think strength is probably the best because it gives you like, it increases your attack, melee damage, and health points. I mean, it's kind of like overpowered, honestly. So yeah, that's pretty easy to manage your leveling up. Okay, so basically what I have to do is escort this guy to his master. He's kind of down here in the corner. And I have to be really careful and make sure he doesn't die. Because he's actually quite frail, and then you fail the quest. So just kind of gotta keep him out of danger. And then there's his master. Nice and easy quest there. Yeah, let me show you the flying skill. It's kind of fun. I believe it lets you like go over small rivers and stuff and other obstacles that would normally block you, and it can work in conjunction with the tentacles. Although the fighting is so much worse when you're flying, which I really don't like personally. Yeah, I wish there was a way to turn it off, but luckily it wears out pretty fast. You can see how much faster my attacks are, how much how frequently I hit. Up in the air. What I love about the tentacles is like each one does only 10 damage, but as you can see, like they add up really quickly, especially if you're kind of like strategic on attacking the enemies so that they kind of end up on top of the tentacles no matter where they are. I found a lot of times using the shift key to control your character movement. I think the shift stops you from moving. Oh no, it slows you down so you walk instead of run. It can help you really like make sure that those enemies are going over the tentacles and help you position like the next set of tentacles as you kill. Right now I'm not like attempting to power level at all, I'm actually just kind of like lazily strolling around the map. One of the worst things about Sacred by far is the invisible walls and boundaries. Like, I mean, you can see how like muddy and kind of like poorly tiled a lot of the graphics are. Like on one hand it seems like really low quality, and it is, I'm not gonna like lie about it, it's subpar quality, but honestly it's one of the things that gives Sacred like its unique charm, I think. In the same way that the original like Diablo and Diablo 2 had a lot of charm because of their hand-drawn art style. Sacred, like everything nowadays is just all 3D, you know? 3D rendered, 3D models, 3D lighting systems, volumetric stuff, so you don't get this like sort of kitschy old world kind of previous generation hand-drawn style. Although Sacred's kind of special. Well, I mean, there's a few games that fall into this category, but you can see the character model and the weapon model, they're all three-dimensional, but the scenes are basically, not. The scenes are basically 2D isometric. One of my favorite things about the game is the ridiculous names that a lot of the items have, although that's something that you experience more in sort of the original campaign, working your way up. I feel a little bad that I started this expansion character for just a fun gameplay video, because you don't really get to see the progression. You really start out with nothing, you know, like a rusty dirk of despair, which is kind of what you are accustomed to when you are in the regular campaign. I like how you're basically killing giant fleas in the expansion. Honestly, these things are terrifying. I would not want to run into one of these things in real life. Sacred are just phenomenal. Like all the enemy sounds, the weapon sounds, like all the clanging and stuff. I don't know, it's a really like visceral kind of combat for hack and slash. The
My
finding is the
armor does
worst.
not protect me well from fire.
But thankfully they're also one of the easiest to kill with the tentacles. The best way to kill them is actually to focus on the circles where they're on the ground, because that's actually where their attack window is. I really want to go into my inventory and screw around with the weapons, because I don't. These random loadouts are kind of lame. But I'll probably wait until later on to do that, because these are fairly decent weapons. Can't complain. Yeah, these wasp things are just frustrating. So it's always best to like gather up as many like those fleas as you can and create a kill zone with the tentacles, and then when the bugs are just flying over you to attack you, they'll end up hitting those tentacles, and then you get kind of a cascade where just there's a critical mass of tentacles and they just do so much damage that you basically don't have to attack at all. You just sit there and let the tentacles do all the work. Yeah, look at that. Inaccurate acts of the savants, neglected gauntlets of the novice. All the names of weapons in modern RPGs are so like elegant and yet totally boring. Oh, actually, lost some health. Not even die, who knows? I don't remember what happens to you when you die in Sacred. You just restarted the starting location.
Time to face your creator, worm.
Oh, come on. There we go. Got that critical mass. It took a little while though. Not really finding many good items. I'm surprised. And they really throw you into the deep end of the expansion. It's pretty carefully balanced. Like the enemies are like level 31, and I'm like level what, 28, I think. So that's why like they're parrying so often. If you're close to the same level, it's pretty much like a constant hit. If I was power leveling right now, what I would do, in fact, maybe I'll do a demo of that. First, I want to get to an area that has less of these annoying wasps. Need to find a bunch of these fleas and orcs. Orcs are the best. I'm going to power level. I think there are more orcs kind of up ahead. But you want to make sure you've got a huge mob following you. I'm gonna see if I can get a bunch of these orcs. So they're really fun to kill. You get a huge mob, and make sure that tentacles are going, and then use the blue potion here, which is experience. Enhancing, and then basically every time you kill an enemy, you get more and more experience. And you can really quickly level up using this technique, assuming you can keep killing the minimum required number of enemies to get the exponential tentacle thing happening. That was pretty easy. I killed like, I don't know, 15 enemies maybe, 10, 15. As you can see, my experience went up by like two of those dots. So that's just one mob. And as long as I've got that little halo around me, I can keep cashing in that extra experience. Unfortunately, those potions aren't as like plentiful as would be nice. But when you get them, that's the time to like gather a huge mob around you. This isn't a big mob, but it's better than nothing. Really need to go into the inventory and pick some better weapons and stuff. Maybe after I kill this mob. One of the really fun things about Sacred is there's like these little magical hiding places scattered around the map, and sometimes you'll just see this little sparkle, and then if you click on it, some random items will appear, which is kind of cool. Alright, let's check out my inventory here. So this is 400 to 575. I like to really do sort of strict inventory management in Sacred. So I only have one window basically at any time, or one slot active at any time. And I usually just put the coolest, highest damage weapon into that slot. Sometimes I use a shield, but not very often. This one's actually great. And it's got slots too. You have to see the blacksmith to modify. I have like no idea what these items are. I've got some good stuff and some trash. Honestly, I have no idea where this stuff came from. So let's see, this one. Attack speed is really important. This one's plus 19, plus 18. This is a pretty good weapon right here, actually. The highest monetary value is pretty frequently like an indicator of the best weapon, but not always. I think it's better than a lot of other games. Usually I think it's just charted to the highest damage of the item. When it comes to upgrades of skills, these skills right here, this is really cool. These little things that you find around the map, like you can find them for all the different character classes, which is kind of neat. But what I'm looking for is the ones that are specifically for the demon. Tentacles, basically. So I think you right click on them to activate them. So like, see, this is level 5, so if I click tentacles, then it goes up to level 6. And the cost is a lot higher every time you upgrade, but at the same time the duration of the skill, like, it's gone up by over 10 seconds, so that's obviously a huge benefit. Although, not all skills are actually worth upgrading. Sometimes there's no advantage, but in this case, there is. Even though these are all demons and you would be tempted maybe to just activate them all and upgrade those various skills, it's better to hang on to them because you can exchange them with a wizard for ones of your choosing, which maybe I'll show later on, but I'm only going to upgrade the ones that are the specific skills that I've chosen to use, which are honestly the only skills that are really useful for this character. Otherwise it's just a endless, unpleasant grind. Sort of lost in the maze here. When you follow the little like roads, it usually helps you out. I like this guy, he's a trick quest.
They call me Larenia the Unlucky. You should find a globe and take it to Yaraduk in the village of the Haddam.
Quest. Those raptor things are terrifying, although it's cool you can lead them to glorbs and basically will kill the glorbs for you, which ironically is not very useful because you don't get the experience and the velociraptor things are much harder to kill. They have a bigger surface area, so the tentacles work better on them, which is nice. I find that like one of my favorite features of RPGs, though, when they have an ecosystem where basically enemies will attack each other. It's a lot more realistic and believable. Actually, they're really slow, but with the tentacles, it's just like with the tentacles themselves, there's a critical mass where you basically are able to just exponentially slay pretty much. Really want a bigger mob here. I wish the tentacles was a buff, honestly, that would make it so much easier. It lasts for so long. Dagger of the lion. Lord meat all over the place.
Well, now we have this out of the way. What else can I do for you? Come closer. My cart is well stocked. Whether you seek magic potions, weapons, shields, or armor, your gold is well spent with Larenia the Unlucky.
So once you collect the glorb meat for this guy, he turns into a shop, and then you can buy and sell stuff out here in the wild, which is really nice. Just gonna get rid of all this stuff. God, I don't know, fiery sword. I might end up using that if I ever get dual weld. It's usually best to hang on to the gold items for a while, even if you don't necessarily plan on using them. I got a bunch of crap in my inventory though that I might as well just get rid of. 1,000. 29, level 31. It's just a better piece of armor. The slots are really important, like those rectangles in the item. Like later on, you really want to stack your powers. I got Pandora's Spurs. When was I using this? Huh. Yeah, those are much better. And it's a set item. It's cool, they kind of ripped that off from Diablo, but whatever. Hang on to the amulets and rings and stuff because you can actually socket those into items, which is really useful. These anti-venom potions, totally useless. Pretty much the only potions I keep are the experience potions and the health potions. Everything else is trash. And I think there's a way to organize these, right? Yeah. It's been a while. This is such a great feature. I wish every RPG had this, honestly. It just makes inventory management so much easier. Sometimes you'll find set items in here, but not very often. And I usually buy all the health potions too, although I haven't really seemed to need any on this playthrough. I think I'm gonna get to town and then call it quits for now, because got some bacon on the stove. I'm gonna make some breakfast sandwiches for myself. I can't remember how far away the town is though. Come on, little piggies. The kills are that damage adding up. Oh yeah, orbs. Yeah, I've already reached the level where my tentacles are so powerful that I can pretty much just kill a couple of enemies. I found so many good things from these hidden areas. A lot of RPGs have these hidden...
It's time to shut you up forever.
Hidden areas or like a loose rock or whatever. They just have crap underneath them, so it's really disappointing. But in Sacred, often you'll find like set items, just good stuff. Yeah, pretty close to town. This is honestly
I
where
shall
you
put
really
you out
start
of your
to
misery.
reach the high level of experience build-up. This region right here, because it's just cram-packed with easy-to-kill enemies, like those worms and stuff. They're just like total cannon fodder for your tentacles. And you can get massive mobs following you in this area if you walk slowly, like just hold down the shift key every once in a while and get them to follow you behind you. This character's so broken though, seriously.
What a monster!
If I just had 10 of those experience potions, it'd probably go up like 20 levels just from this one area. I really like how in Sacred 2, when you have a huge mob around you, it doesn't automatically equate to exponential injury on your part. Like, I don't know why
And
that
people
is.
say I am the
It must
monster.
have something to do with the way that you statistically deflect damage, but like, it doesn't matter how big the mob is, you're not going to die any faster just because you're being surrounded by like 30 enemies. So it really gives you an advantage when you're trying to do these like experience runs. I was laying my skill ran out right as I killed that guy. Smell the blood rafters. These enemies with the little like spikes
They
on
say that your
their
legend,
life
you
ring
will be
are
forgotten
like
soon enough.
elites, kind of, and they usually drop more veterans, which is nice. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, once you get a life-draining weapon, every hit and damage that your tentacles do is vampiric and returns some life to you, which is just like the best thing ever. You're basically unstoppable. Not only are you doing insane damage, you're also restoring your health, and so it makes you pretty unstoppable. So I finally made it to town. It's actually not that far in. Ooh, I got a gold item right off the bat too. What's this? 6,000. I think that's worse than what I have though. No, it's way... yeah, it's worse. Oh yeah, I'll show you guys one more thing before I sign off, because this is really cool. So this guy right here is the combat arts wizard combo master, but his real valuable skill here is the exchange, and that's where you can take these skill things, whatever they're called, and combine them together to get whatever skill you want. So it takes 4 to get the specific one you want, which for me is tentacles. Lots of skills here. Alright, tentacles. Like, so that gives me more tentacles. So let's see, I'm gonna go from 6 to 7. Let's see, it's 10-second duration of tentacles, aura duration 50 seconds. So the aura is 1 more second, but it does quite a bit more damage. Regeneration takes longer, but that's not a big deal if it's constantly scaling up with the longer duration. The downside to this, here I'll show you, this is kind of cool. So if you just add one, oh yeah, let's see, I think it's the same, it has to be the same kind. So like, if you just add 2 and you hit this button, it will give you a random one of your skill type, or whatever skill type this is, I think. So, but I can't remember what happens if you add 3. I think it's like more accurate or something, I don't remember. But anyway, like, you can take a chance on that and use less of these, but I always just use 4, because you find so many of these as you're playing, and that way I'm able to always get exactly what I want. And this is like one of the keys to power leveling, honestly, because if you are super specialized and you just focus on one skill, let's see what the damage is. 98 total. So now it's 110. Now it's 122. Last 53 seconds, so it's getting like really, really powerful. The last thing that I will show you is, wait, I don't want a horse. What I want is blacksmith. This is also like a key to really like stepping up your game. So like, you can socket items. So this is an item with 3 sockets, and they're bronze sockets or gold or whatever, I don't know what that's called. That means you can put a lot of different things in them, but you can basically just load it up with rings, or even these things can go into the sockets. Let me show you, like this, which isn't as great as the rings, especially if you have some really elite rings. slip them in there, but honestly, just some random ones is fine. You can like redo these later on. I can't remember exactly how, but it's not too hard. Alternately, you can just go with these, which are even better most of the time, unless you have some really high-end rings and amulets. So like, just increase all damage types. Like you can see that up to 60%, 12 to attack.
This smallest little thing costs
Yeah,
us an absolute
it really
fortune
helps
at the
you out.
moment, and
Although
we
it's
really
really
get
expensive, depending on what you're doing. So yeah, I just massively increased the power of that item. And any other things. That's, oh yeah, this one's got resistances is nice. I don't know, it depends on what your build is, but I usually almost always just go with the upping my attack, because that gives me better accuracy and hitting potential and stuff. Yeah, so that's basically the two major upgrade
Here I
things.
go.
Usually I hit the vendor first so I can buy any like special amulets or whatever that I might want to add to my items in the sockets. Usually not very much good stuff, but occasionally you find just randomly set items in here, which is nice. So yeah, that's sort of the introduction to Sacred, the original Sacred. I'll probably play some more of this later on, maybe even today, I don't know. But thanks for watching.